Hello and welcome to Game 2. So this is Game 2 of the HiNice Cup matchup between eMaL, spawning as the blue orc in the bottom, versus Remind, spawning as the red elf in the top. Now, we just see it's going to be an Ancient of War creep right here onto this little green, which is always pretty standard for elves on this map, and we have over here looking like a pretty standard orc as well. This is Game 2. I'm going to go ahead and tell the score. This is how this works, basically. I move my screen right here. You mute your microphone if you don't want to know the score, and as soon as my mouse or my screen goes back over one of the players' bases, you can unmute because it will be safe and there will be no spoilers in the rest of the game, most likely. So that's my goal anyway. So hopefully you've muted by now, and if not, 3 seconds. Okay, so last game was won by Remind, and this is Game 2. Yay! So I don't know, it feels like so much setup for like just 2 seconds or so of actually talking right there, but whatever. And we can see that this archer is going to come out, and it's going to go ahead and pull this, and the Ancient of War is going to uproot and come down. Uproot and come down, that's right. It looks like he's actually just going to uproot, not come down at all. Now he's going to come down, whatever. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, sorry, getting distracted there by my own voice. Anyway, so here we can see that the Blade Master and the Grunt are about to come out. These guys have a lot of power. However, since this shop has not been completed, I would imagine they're probably going to start with either this or maybe just item creeping down here, maybe killing all of that. But who knows? They might even go for harass. It's possible to creep this out with just a Blade Master and a Grunt. However, you do take a fair amount of damage, but we'll see if that's what he decides to do. He decides to go ahead and try to creep this by himself. However, the Demon Hunter does come in here, and he's going to say, you know what am I going to do? I'm just going to chase you. And, oh, a Grunt has been ensnared, and the Demon Hunter really knows he can't get in here to do anything, but he can go ahead and take some damage with this Archer and Demon Hunter on this Grunt that is now ensnared, and it cannot run away. Maybe he's just trying to trap it in here, but we'll see what happens. Here's his Blade Master taking a little bit of, waiting just a little bit to be able to re-wind walk after he kills that off. And he's going to pick up the item in the ward and sell the item, and that was pretty good by Remind for 2 reasons. Even though he wasn't able to really stop that, he was able to do a lot of harass onto that Grunt, and also he was able to get that ward placed in here. And as you can see, that ward only gives a very narrow amount of vision outside of that shop now, which is a whole lot better for Remind than having it, you know, right here, which would have given a much more vision more like this right here, which is kind of like a lot more. But anyway, so as you can see, my descriptions are just absolutely tantalizing. Is that a word? I think it's a word. I might be mispronouncing it, but anyway, I think it's tantalizing. Yeah, whatever. Tantalizing is not a word. Okay, so who do you see that Blade Master coming in here for the steal on this creep? He's going to go ahead and steal the item as well as the experience. And he does go ahead and break on the Demon Hunter, and now that he has plenty of all this, he does not have enough mana for another Wind Walk, so he does run away from all of that. He does not want to get mana burned at, 65 mana. That would be unfortunate, just a mere 10 mana away. And it does go back to the shop, however, to pick up Boots of Speed, which will be very useful for chasing down heroes or creeps or whatever he really feels like chasing down. And over here we can see the elf is almost a tier 2, throwing down his shop inside of his base, and for the orc, doing the same thing, except his shop is already down and it's outside of the base. So we do see him, the eMaL creeping out his little green right here, just getting some XP. It's an easy thing to creep out with just one Grunt. There comes out the second Grunt, I believe. I'm not sure. I usually have maybe a third Grunt out by now, but or that it normally would be a third Grunt, so I'm not really sure what happened to the first Grunt. It might have died, or the first or the second, I'm not sure which one it was. Or maybe he just delayed it in order to buy items. Who knows? No idea. Maybe he doesn't even want 4 Grunts this game. We'll see. Right now I think he only has 2, and it looks like he stopped production, so that may very well be what he's doing. He may only go with 2 Grunts. That's a possibility. A very good possibility, it looks like. And we see this Archer just hiding over here. Maybe he doesn't want to get found by the Blade Master with any dust or anything like that. So also good for scouting and such. So always a good thing to have. And you never know when the orc is going to creep one of these, for example. That might always be an issue. However, it looks like he might just go ahead and creep that himself. I'm not sure he knows this is a red. I'm not entirely sure if he knows that, but he might say, screw it, I got 2 heroes and an archer, that's enough to creep a red, whatever, right? Whatever, I guess, it's Remind, he knows what he's doing. If he gets jacked here, that could be quite unfortunate. However, it's not really a threat, as the Blade Master is all the way down here. Now, this does remind me of something, but it looks like he's going to actually creep this out a lot easier than I thought. Yeah, he's not really taking all that much damage from this. That's quite surprising. Those summons are tanking pretty well, splitting the damage between his heroes so nothing really gets too low. That's the skills of a professional, fellers. Quite nice. Very amazing. It's really nice the way he juggles the damage between his Quill Beasts. Basically using micro... Basically what you do is you attack the other Quill Beast with your Quill Beast and it switches targets. So it's pretty nice micro to have something like that. And as you can see, done pretty well. And as you can see, also this was able to have pretty much a full clarity be used in the middle of that fight after he was done tanking. So he kept the focus from hitting the Beastmaster as well. So that was pretty nice. And here we just see the Blade Master running around almost level 3. A Wisp right here. I'm not sure why he didn't try to kill that Wisp, but either way. Here we are going to see he's coming out, and the Hawk coming out, just the perfect timing as that Blade Master comes running in. And here we do see actually a Cloak of Shadows on the Demon Hunter, so he would have been able to get invisible and force a Dust, but instead of doing that, he simply TP'd out. He used the Staff of Preservation, which allowed him to go heal up to full. Maybe he just didn't want to risk dying to some critical strikes accidentally. Who knows? And it's not a bad thing either to, you know, force the orc to keep a Dust in his inventory, because it prevents him from carrying, you know, either a damage item or a survivability item. Over here we can see that there is a Torn Chieftain being picked up with his aura. Is working on level 2, which will allow him to go ahead and get his War Stomp or his Shockwave, depending on what he wants to do. It's probably a Shockwave because we're going to be seeing a dot strategy here, and a dot strategy usually warrants Shockwave. And that's usually why you get the Torn Chieftain. Over here we can see that this is Remind creeping out this shop right here. Blade Master doing a little split creeping with his Orc army. Just, you know, getting level 3. The Blade Master is now officially level 3. He has some nice items. However, he doesn't have enough mana or life really to do a whole lot. And we do have this ward going down. And we do see that the Blade Master is going to actually be able to come down. And it'll be just fine given that he does have this Orc army support. And the Elf's army really not having all that much in it right now. And we do have the Staff of Preservation being used on the Demon Hunter to keep him alive, and we do see this Quill Beast blocking that Blade Master from attacking the Beastmaster. Beautiful micro from Remind, as always, pretty much as you always want to expect, because it is Remind, and he is just so freaking good. So, here we do see an Archer going down, and the Blade Master taking a lot of damage, and in fact being Fairy Fired, so now he's going to have a little bit of a nuisance as he runs around. He's just a walking scout for Remind at this point. So, that's not a good feeling to have, but there is two Spirit Walkers, but they do not happen to have their Dispel just yet, so they won't be able to get rid of the Fairy Fire, and in fact it looks like a third Spirit Walker is going to come out before that research even begins starting. But there we do see it. Oh, Remind. Now he's like, well, I got 3 dots, 4 dots, and now I can creep this red as well. He's just absolutely insane how efficient he is at creeping. And he's going to be able to creep this, and watch, he's going to end up ending this with like full mana or full HP on everything, because this Ogre Magi drops a Rune of Healing that allows you to heal all of your units. But he might wait, he might go ahead and wait to pick that up. We'll see what happens. Taking a lot of damage on his heroes, but he has that Hawk there, so he's not really in a lot of concern for the Blade Master, who's also still Fairy Fired, so he knows where the Blade Master is right now. And as you can see, Blade Master's right there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to run away. And as you can see, almost full HP on everything as he runs away from this creep. Pretty amazing, I'd say. Leaving one of these guys up just because he doesn't want to risk being caught right there by the Orc army. However, I don't think he realized that the Orc army was all the way over here, but whatever. Not a huge deal. Really not. I mean, let's see. Is Master Training finished? I guess we can just click on these guys. In fact, it is in fact finished. Over here we can see that the Blade Master popping a Clarity, picking up his potion of invulnerability again, and running away. Now we have the Orc army coming down here, and it looks like they're actually Spirit Linked. Ooh, I thought that was a Fairy Fire, but just the way the Healing Salve and Spirit Linked work together kind of twinkles a little bit like the Fairy Fire, but not quite. So, over here we do see that this is Remind's army. Doing pretty well. 3-3, but let's see. We have the Orc throwing up an expansion. That'll be nice. And he has 3-3 as well, it looks like. Where's his Blade Master? Yes, indeed he does. So, are we going to see a Tinker being picked up? It's very possible. Very possible. There's enough food, and there's the Tinker. So, what's going to happen here is the question. We do see a really nice item on this Demon Hunter. He's very tanky at this point. He has this potion of lesser invulnerability as well as 500 hit point greater healing potion. So he may very well be able to go ahead and just keep creeping. And getting these items from these creeps, the middle creeps are here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Very important. They always get really good items. And as you can see, Beastmaster went ahead and picked up a 15-second invulnerability potion. Really nice to have. And here comes the Orc TPing, or attacking his Remind's base. Remind's TPing in to get a pretty good position. And the eMaL goes ahead and TPs out immediately. And some Cyclones go off to prevent those Moonwells from going down. So that was pretty good. A dot does go down, however, which is unfortunate for Remind. But not a big deal. Who do you see that he's scouted out this expansion and he's going ahead and attacking it with his Quill Beast, trying to stop it from being built? That would be ideal. We have a Fairy Dragon in play. Fairy Dragon's very nice against, of course, the casters over here. They basically, whenever they go into their phase mode, they can do a lot of. They basically have a lot of armor, so it's very hard to kill them. And they're very tanky. I think they gain like 10 armor. And essentially, whenever anybody casts a spell near them, and we'll probably see him go into this right about here, what'll happen is they will take some damage from him. It's kind of like a mini mana burn, except I don't believe it actually burns mana, just deals damage to your hit points. And there it is, plus 12 life. As you can see, mana flare. So let's see, once people start casting spells around him, they can go ahead and you see it happening. Just basically just shooting out little green beams, little lasers at him. This is a fight going down, and who's gonna win this fight? I don't know. It looks like some units are dying here. Remind's doing pretty well in this fight. He's going to cancel this expansion, perhaps. Nope, not quite. Not quite being able to cancel it. However, he is still attacking it with that Quill Beast. We do see this fight still going off. Is that expansion going to go down to this Quill Beast? Is there any repair going off? There's no repair going off, and it does go down. Unfortunate for eMaL. Very unfortunate. As you can see, the Orc being forced to run away from this fight, really, and killing little units being picked off here and there. And in fact, eMaL goes ahead and calls GG. So, unfortunate for him. Now, I think I actually called this a best of 3 at some point. I was wrong. This is a best of 5. So, yay! There's going to be in game 3, at least there may be up to game 5 games. We'll find out. We will find out. Anyway, so, click right here whenever you want to. And if you want to relook at the scoreboard, here's the scoreboard. Pretty good scoreboard. In this game, though, I have to mention, we saw some absolutely amazingly efficient creeps from Remind. Wow! But, whatever. So, click right here for Game 3, and I'll see you there.